I hope say any side some friend myself. I hope so that they do well. I hope the week has been gracious to you and yours. Um, I been feel say somebody come, but na me own end this week teach me say someone not come it, not they close it. So basically waiting that they mean for say it's been snowing quite a bit on this end. Some people that I talk to, they don't they get good weather. If you are in around Washington, New York area, I know for say it was really, really bad. I hope you survived it all and you're doing well. Lots of teas, lots of lemon, lots of ginger, and always lots of water. So today we did also again for talk about salon issues. Actually, you guys, I have something for you guys. Maybe I will talk about towards the end of the show, right? Maybe I will talk about towards the end of the show. What we'll see, we shall see, we shall see. Salon issues are difficult road to June 24, 2023. I don't know when they see them, but I miss it down. It's not going to be easy. From no side, okay, from no side. Like I can see the international community, like the EU, the US Congress, even England, the British government, like they are really, really trying. Like they do so much, awareness building, money, towards different initiatives them, towards different things them. But internally, right, within the fractions themselves, I don't know. It's not going to be easy. It's definitely not going to be easy. And a lot of them come on inside. I could have easily named, we could have easily named the show today, the difficulties in transportation difficulty in Sierra Leone, crossing crossing Lunge to the mainland, where I go call Freetown, the mainland, the difficulties, because we know for say they ferry them, on the book run, then on the book run, we get 3 ferries them where they run at one point. One polo and say then send and go repair. The other one say middle the sea, polo and drag and then say repairs. Now the last one, the one we then call Freetown, instead polo. In fact, I shouldn't be laughing. I really shouldn't be laughing because people's life are at stake here. People's life are at stake. You know that thing they be full ping. After they be full ping, and you can see when the water because they drift the ferry no more now. So apparently we will come to this. We'll see a video of how the ferry was drifted. The ferry that was supposed to be going to Lunge was drifted back to Kisi. Kisi Nokia. Oh dear. I laugh, but I not funny because we see when people they do SOS rescue, that they put their hand off an SOS rescue and for make them be rescued because they were just stuck right in the middle of the sea, and none of us in that part in the deep sea. But listen, people, a lot of people are doing whatever they can in their own little corner to sensitize people to have, excuse me, to have public engagements, to have public sensitization, because obviously the space where Sierra Leone been get for do that, there's an erosion of that space, whether we like it or not, whether we admit it or not, there's an erosion of that space. The civil society space appears no longer to exist. The civil society space appear no longer to exist, and predominantly I've been enrolled and for sensitize people, them community engagement, community reach, and all these type of things. people are trying, different shows, them, different people, them, whether within the diaspora or outside of the diaspora, they're doing what they can to sensitize people because at the end of the day, sorry, I just got distracted, people. At the end of the day, it's on you. It's literally on you. Like me, so we sit down here. If you know right now, so I get outside of Sierra Leone when I'm in natal ground. I get options. I get plenty other options then where I can explore. If you know right now, so you know right now, Canada, you know right now, America, you know right now, Australia, you know right now, Germany, you know right now, France, you know right now, England. Now that then up then up there where they call us get family where I can pack suitcase go. If you know right now all them places then they I still get different hubs them within the continent where a body them go catch you. But you see, that's not the option available to many within the land. For make you person try trace until they bring you canaya. So and yes, so now they know they accept like before because they self then get the new wahala then. You know what I mean? So the onus is upon us to get it right. The onus is upon us to get it right. The onus is upon us to make it right. The onus is upon us for ensure say all man included. So in this inclusivity, in this moving forward, the path to 24th June 2023, and this, when I talk, this is not about, the APC. This is not even about the opposition party. This is about all parties included. The path to that date, securing a victory, is going to be very, very difficult. So right now, as I talk right now, today, we are at 98 days, exactly 0 hours, 41 minutes and 5 seconds to election. Can you believe it? Before we were talking about months. We were talking about months and months. So we are about 3 months. 3 months and a little bit. 3 months plus Bonya to election. So, like I just say right now, 98 days, 40 minutes, because the countdown, and they read this one directly from EC government gov.sl. So the ECSL, the official ECSL Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone page. Now they read this wire so from right now. So according to the countdown, within 98 days, 0 hours, 40 minutes and 13 seconds to 24th June. And waiting we understand right now, even as we do this countdown to 24th June, we can say that we get 17, officially as of right now, we get 17 registered political parties then. We also get 3,630 polling centers nationwide. And on top of them polling center then we get what we call polling stations then back. Right? So you get the hub and then you get the sub them. Right? So the subs then we get 11,832 polling stations nationwide, so all over the country. And then on top of that, we get 16 electoral districts. So now we they see inside ECSL then page. They also say that the electoral results then will be announced at the regional level. The audio too long when we get them and we able to cut the side when necessary for make we sensitize we go bring and come. But on top of that ECSL, they tell the voters, then say the number of people that will register for go vote, then say a total number of 3,003,074 no, 3,374,258 people then. Now they register in 2022 voters registration exercise. And if I go, I can able to drill down to the different regions them, to the different districts them. Almost people register, they even drill and down. And I'm hoping we have time to really go through this, because their numbers they are so good, be very important for make we understand when we talk about this proportional representation system, this new system of voting, where Naim then say then go use for the 2023 election. It could be very, very important for make we go inside it, for make we look inside, because they drill and down not only to the different districts them, provinces them, then drill and down to the different districts them, they even drill and down to the different genders them, they even make I might call it like a pilot. Well, I'm not gonna call them a pilot, a mock. Okay, they make a mock representation of what the parliament would look like, based on the numbers them where then say them pull now the voters registration number. So you go see something place there like Freetown, the representation decrease because they say Freetown get less population than places like Kenema or Bo. So it will be very interesting to see how these numbers are being played with. And then for the first time also in the history, I think, of voters history, we also go get for C who side, and they use two different processes then, two different datas then for reconcile and bring a median to the number, bring an average, right, to the numbers then where then they expect, or how they go get for deal with their number. Then they show we how they arrive at the district numbers, then the mock parliament representation and all of that. So these things are very, very interesting for make we understand, for make we talk about, right? And the time is definitely fast approaching. And also, so to be honest, I even think that we as educators are running out of time. I strongly feel like we as educators having this type of information session are running out of time. So we really get to think about something more to add to the fire, not to add to the fire, but in educating. We get to do a lot more, because time is running out, and we definitely need for sensitize with people that we don't talk over the last 4.5 years, going 5 years. This is no more time for talking and talking and talking. As you talk, we need for the profile solutions then. We also need for the profile solutions then, which I believe the show has done. And I know they say that because I am the host of the show. I'm saying that because this is what I strongly believe, that it has not always been about criticism and pointing the bad. It has also been a very good mix, a fair balance of pointing the bad, profiling solutions for the good. And with that said, I'm actually thinking that maybe the Salone Issues show at some point to get a rebrand them to the Salone Issues and Solutions show. I think we'll get a rebrand them to the Salone Issues and Solutions show, because really what we have done over the years is not only talking about the issues, but we've also proffered solutions along the line. So instead of SLS, it will become the SLSS, right? I think that's a good name. Una make a note at the comment section if you all would like that rebranding. I think it will be a really good rebranding. But make we sit down inside the kutuku. I want to come back to something we happened last week, and this is what I talk about: state institutions being accountable, state institutions knowing that they are put there to serve the people, and that the people are not to see them as demigod. Because the moment we state servants, right? Because the moment we state servants, they begin to see themselves better than the people they are serving, higher than the people they are serving, above the people they are serving, then this mentality, entitlement mentality, creeps in. It creeps in so much to the fact that they forget that by nature they are human beings. Make me watch an interview will take place between, I believe it was Samuel Wise-Bangura of the AYV and I don't know if he's the spokesman for the ACC, but definitely he has some affiliation with the ACC. Make me watch that video there and make me talk much more, because there's so much that has happened today. And all of these, I strongly believe is embedded. All of these are embedded in the difficult road to the June 24. No matter how you look at them, whether it's from the existing political party being the incumbent, or the opposition trying to outdo the incumbent political party, or whatever, it is going to be a very difficult road. Very difficult road. So I will just wait for the technical team make the upload. I found that offender that conversation, they're very interesting. There was a lot of lesson learned in that conversation, and that if this wire so then kind talk there, so not the open people then yai for really see, so we get for hold we institutions them to account. And when I mean institutions, please do not look at the name. The name is just but a symbol, but the human beings, institutions are made up of human beings. Now human beings then are then they write policies then. Now human beings then they implement policies then. Now human beings then the onus is upon to conduct themselves under a professional code of conduct. All right? So make me watch this. Yes, make me watch this interview.
Well, that is not the case.
You attended the commissioner, and someone else from the commission attended the event.
Certainly, yes.
And this has been ongoing until someone came out and publicly published a statement saying, no, these people are not what they're saying they are. They need to be investigated. Then afterwards, we saw a statement from the ACC.
No, that is where we are getting it wrong. Okay. There's a missing link. At the very start of the institution or the project or the launch, whatever, ACC was present, and I have explained the reason or reasons behind our presence, as we do in any other function. And it's not our responsibility to do due diligence. And right after that, even before this thing started public, I have said ACC and the other partners came to the realization that the operations of this institution is not anything to go by. And so we started doing joint surveillance work way before this public. That is the point. So we should not be putting these two together. Yes, there was representation, that is not in doubt, but in terms of the commencement of intelligence work, let's start with that, it had begun or had commenced ever since, before all of these. And then we also commenced investigation itself, so because we believed that something has led us somewhere for which we needed to do all of these in terms of looking to the activities of EAP and the motherland city. So let us get it right. Up to such a time now, we started seeing all of these publications coming from whosoever that these things are happening. ACC had long gone into it, and it has happened before in terms of our investigations we conduct. But people consider themselves as whistleblowers, when in fact ACC, we are not the ones like the vuvuzelas. You go about talking because you have seen that. Because I keep saying
the interest matter. You could imagine that people have invested. If you've started an investigation, you could announce to the public that we are investigating this company. We want to advise the public, if you are investing or want to invest, please hold on to your money. I could imagine how many people have invested up to the time you're investigating before you came public. You could imagine.
No, but Lamrana, insofar I am concerned, and the institution and all of us, what we should be thanking God for is that ACC has made this known to the public. And even at the time we are trying to establish
God for that. This is your work you're doing, Mr. Sandy.
No, but basically,
are you saying we should be thanking God for praising the ACC for doing their work?
No, we are doing our work, but we are also making sure that members of the public do not continue to invest or put monies into something that they will not see realization. So that is the point. So, as a matter of fact, even though this is our work we do, don't you have to pat us on our back for doing such a thing with the other partners?
You're getting paid to do that and represent the country.
I agree. It is not in doubt. But even for a job for which you are paid as a father, you are to feed your child. When you feed that child, the child should start to say thank you. It's a sign of appreciation.
So should we
exactly. So it's a sign of appreciation.
Are you saying we should commend the ACC for even for an ACC that attended the launch of a project that you're saying is fraudulent? The individual carries 3 different passports. You did not do due diligence. You're saying we should the public should be thanking God for that. Are you saying, is that what you're saying?
Oh yes. What I am saying, let us understand it very clearly. They should thank the ACC for their investment, so to speak, which we are trying to protect. The monies that they thought they were putting into somewhere, at the end of the day, they will not realize anything out of that. Is what I am saying. But on the point you are raising about attending, I have tried to clear that aspect. ACC, they will invite us, and in functions we attend. It is not our responsibility to be doing due diligence on private institutions or businesses. I have said the institutions that ask for partnership with the ACC, for which we give them letters of partnership, and also we do memorandum of understanding or memoranda, we do that due diligence.
Mr. Sandy,
and a lot more.
Mr. Sandy,
it is not in this
Mr.
case.
Sandy, as I am.
So you've made a statement, you are done.
No, as I am, as an individual, I get invitation to attend events. I want to know who are these people who are inviting me, what they're doing, what their background. I'll do some basic research about them. I could imagine the ACC, you're saying, being invited to an event of such nature, and you see there, to you, it seems like it's not an issue. We should just go and make a statement. It's okay.
You're still not. You are still,
but you're saying the ACC,
it is the aspect of the due diligence we are talking about the basic checks. At that time, I still tell you, if you read around this institution, the motherland city, and all of what somebody have had, and they said they are coming to invest, and I still keep saying there are people responsible for that, and you are just to go there and make statement and to say we did not. You basically will do that, but you don't go deeper. And that aspect of going deeper is not at that stage. You have to do it, and not even after. But at the end of the day, when now people had started to be making deposits into this account, and ACC as an intelligence institution and with other partners, we said no, wait a minute, you have to look. We have to look at this institution more properly. And that was the time intelligence work started on this EAP and all of that. And as I'm saying, with other inquiries, with other parties, like the EFCC, we're able to get the information. You cannot get it at that time you think you are being called upon. And this is not the first time, of course, it's happening in Sierra Leone, but everything that happens to the ACC, yes, we have a mandate, but there are institutions too who have the responsibility to do what they are supposed to do, or to do what they are established to do.
Basically, now the word that Nadameka say, we have so much work, like, and for me, listen, I have zero game in this election because at the end of the day, the only pinch that I would have, the only pinch I would get as a human being or as a person from that land is that maybe I pay more taxes, maybe the people them the 2, 3 people that were able to help or why they help, maybe it becomes a little bit more stiff to help them, or that it takes a bit more out of me for help them because I know they live in the country. And because I know they live in the country, the day-to-day daily grind does not affect me. The institutional malfunctioning of the institution does not affect me per se. You know, it dey affect me, but not indirectly. And the indirectly, like, it's so far removed, it's not immediate. You know, it's I don't understand, right? So really, most of the time when we sit down here, where we talk, is because we have vested interest in saying that, or in wanting, the population for do well, in wanting people to thrive within the population, make it not always they be like, make we manage how for do, now so God say, because not to so God say, no, now so people they make them, now so people have made it. Just imagine you are working in the Anti-Corruption Commission. Your job is to ensure that there is no gaffe, there is no thieving going on, and where there is thieving or looting of public assets or individual assets, and in this case it's not just the public asset, it's the national asset, because the land in question was not bought by these investors. I believe it was given to them by the government. They acquired it, and then now, then they come bills, allegedly were supposed to build or make a city or community in this area, and then other them now the people away for kind side for can put their money inside. These people are Sierra Leoneans. So not only did you defraud the state, you defrauded the people of the nation as well. And then you seemingly being invited to something like that where somebody can. It can with such huge investment. You as the Anti-Corruption Commission, your first job, first of all, now for watch into the finances of this person, for watch into the business credibility of this person, watch into the business veracity of this person, watch into how long they done they in business, whether are them partners, them have they defaulted anywhere, have they been criminalized anywhere. But instead, you gave the green light. And after you gave the green light, then you walk backwards now for saying now they can look into the person. And now you're telling the people, and then somebody else, a Sierra Leonean, who basically has no stake in the game, outed the dealings and everything. And now they talk for saying, no, this person could not have had access to such intensive, deep investigation. Let's say, for example, you're right, but at the end of the day, the onus is upon you to let the public know, the innocent people who are investing their money, where they invest their money, so the onus they pay you for tell them, for make them not say, if unu, or if any pan unu, where they Salone or where they not they Salone, unu don't hear but this company so, and unu they think for put unu money inside, or unu don't put unu money inside. Do ya unu wait for so, we hear they inside, we hear they watch this thing and so forth. And when we don't done for watch this thing and so, if all thing a year we go make una know. But instead, here you have a public official who is being paid partly by the British subvention, and also from the coffers of taxpayers, sitting on national television, and after not having done their job, they sit down there, they talk about the people there for tell God thank you and forgive them a pat on the back. So basically, they should thank you for letting them down, and they should pat you on the back for basically allowing them to waste their resources. How you don't save their investment? Have the money been returned back to the people who have already started investing in this company, who've already started putting in their money into this company? Have you identified these people? Have you contacted them? Have you made contact? Because so far nobody, we don't put in money on this thing, so we was contacted to say, hey, hold up payments. Even if it is like a non-disclosure email for say you are not allowed to disclose this email because it is under investigation, because the company is under investigation. However, from the list provided to us based on our investigation, we are contacting you to let you know that you should cease and desist payments forthwith until you are contacted to do so or until further notice. You did not take any of such actions. You did not take any of such actions. Instead, you pull up bogus last minute press release to the public, and then you want to be patted on the back. Our institutions, honestly and truly, we need them to work for us. We need for make them work for we. We truly and honestly need for make them work for we. That's all I wanted to say about this part for show una say when we can sit down at the talk, when we can talk about the. Remember, I can always tell una this: every human being has an agenda. It might be a selfless agenda, or it might be a selfish agenda. It's up to you to decide where that agenda falls, depending on how you see it. So as we dey go, like I tell you now, tin boku for talk na so today. So we will try to touch on as much as we can for the benefit of heading towards the 24th of June. So finally, the APC candidate elected flag bearer, Dr. Samura Wilson Kamara, nominated in running mate after a long internal drawn process, because several people then show interest for become running mates. But then I guess after some internal negotiations and what have you back and forth, finally Sherry Coco, Maju, I think it's his name, emerge, as the running mate, which for some people they may not come as a surprise. All right. For somebody like me, haven't been there, haven't watched the political space now closely. And when I say now closely, is that before, not that before I've not been to watch the Sierra Leone political space. I mean, they watch the Sierra Leone political space, but I mean, they also watch other spaces in that. I would watch the Latin America political space. I would watch the Western political space and the African political space. Together with the Sierra Leone political space, but now I pay a lot more close attention to the Sierra Leone political space. So after that process, then we see somebody like Honorable Abdul Kagbo will come out and say, out of 5 women and 6 men who wanted to be running mates of APC, Dr. Samura Kamara announces Honorable Shari Koko as his running mate. Honorable Kamara was endorsed as national campaign chairman for the June 2024 election. Now, the selection of Shari Koko, for me, like I say, it's not a new thing. I think if una don't watch the Sierra Leone political space and una understand the Sierra Leone political space, I think it was inevitable. It was just a matter of time. Is the nomination of Shari Koko, is it something new? No, I will just say he's taking on his old appointment, because remember that when there was an imposition, and I don't know the APC people are not going for car like me today, because listen, like I've always said, I am not here to vuvuzela any political party. We're just here to talk about the truth and just analyze things and then leave them at the table, and then you decide waiting ever on one for decide. When in 2018, when the same event where they can witness in a election process, we know that Dr. Samura Wilson Kamara was not the favorite candidate to be put forward by the APC party, but then the APC party, as where we understand them, then left the decision to the then former president, who out of nowhere now surprised everyone by choosing Samura Kamara to take on, I guess, his outgoing seat and becoming the flag bearer. And then Samura Kamara and Sheri Koko were in position, meaning that they were not elected, they were selected, right? And then they create a lot of back and forth, what have you. But remember that Sheri Koko is not new to the political space. Sheri Koko at one point had been deputy, I think, deputy speaker of parliament or something like that. And then in this current disposition as the opposition, he is the head of the opposition parliament. Women for say as the head of opposition parliament is he oversee a lot. He gets a lot of collaboration, and he wields a lot of power as well in that space. Never mind the fact that there's a lot of state capture that happened within the ruling space, within the governing space. However, he had opportunities as well to ensure that certain things were done within parliament as a leader of the opposition. Now, whether he took advantage of those opportunities, that is left for another time to look at. Not so that we sit on today, because I am hoping that before the election, we would have time to look at how did the parliament live up to its expectation as a hung parliament. Because remember that just following the election, the past election, we get this Boku talk about hung parliament. The election we bring about, seeing opposition parties like the NGC taking seats, like the C4C taking seats, like APC being the majority in parliament, and then obviously with stage capturing, marginalization and dwindling of political space. We see how the exertion of power led on to the diminishing of the institutions within parliament, right? And then basically, all this to say that the nomination for me does not come as a surprise. What does it say about the APC as a party? What does it say about the APC as a party telling the people that they would do better? And again, the APC, I'm waiting for your manifesto. I'm yet to see your manifesto. Talk is cheap. The only thing as a citizenry as that we can look back at and we can question is when we go back to your manifesto, just like we will go back to the SLPP manifesto, and then we go see, did they live up to what they said they would, right? So basically, waiting I want for say, when the SLPP did their whatever, I did not come here and congratulate them on their party choices and what have you. But one thing I want to say also to the women within these political parties, you guys wield a lot of power. And like I said in the past, I did not see a situation where any of these political parties were going to have a female running mate. I did not envision it, at least not at this 2023 election. And I've always said it and I've always stood by it. And I hate to say, prove me wrong, but sometimes you see so much, you learn so much that you can foretell what's about to happen. Does this present ticket, Samura Kamara Sheri Koko, or Sam Koko as they would call it, represent an easy path to the APC clinching victory 24th June 2023? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I would get into these reasonings why neither for the SLPP, and while this one also not a clean break for the SLPP either, if the SLPP felt that, oh, we defeated them in 2018 and so therefore come June 2023, June 24th, it's going to be a clean slate, a clean sweep. I think you must be kidding yourself and you must be joking. But anyways, I really sincerely hope that we get them for look into what the hung parliament, what it should have represented for Sierra Leone, however, how it performed for the Sierra Leonean. We also get for look at the APC as an opposition party in parliament, even though we know that, yes, their rights were stifled, and even though, like, yes, we know that there was a hostile, a hostaging of the political space within parliament and all of that, but did they perform as, even given all of these circumstances, did they perform as an opposition party in parliament? We get for look at that, and we get for look at also the Sierra Leone People's Party. The Sierra Leone People's Party, did they live up to the expectation that they had set? Because remember, there was a presidential debate, and when I know I don't delete my videos, when I can go back and listen to waiting, some of my aspersions and suspicions then, okay, going on 5 years now, and then come back and see what's actually happening in the country, and then we can take it from there, even as we go towards the countdown of elections 2023, 2024. So now at least there is no more rumors about who the electoral running mate is going to be. We know that it's not an American coming in and taking the party on. We know that it's a local. And when we get there, I would say a local who, when you look at, okay, all things considered, the two things you're going to give these people, unlike even the current SLPP ticket, make me be clear about this. The two things you're going to give this individual is that they have served within the nations. Whether their service has been profitable, now listen to me very carefully, whether their service has been profitable to the nation, that is absolutely a different set of question that we would ask, okay? Whether their service has been profitable to the nation, that's a completely different sets of questions that we'll ask. But however, what remains true and factual is that then two individuals, like what I can say, they don't crop gun, they also don't crop gun inside Salone. So I go left down there for now, because this is the evaluation of these two systems. Because at the end of the day, let us not kid ourselves. These are the two systems that are enshrined within our nations, and these are the two systems that we are going to have to contend with until we are serious about having a serious third force that will somehow tranquilize the proliferation of the use of ethnopoliticization or the network, the patronage system, the patriarchy system. Okay. Without wait, I forget for tell you now, the phone lines then don't open, people. The phone lines then don't open. I think you all should be used to that by now. That you all should be used to that by now, that the moment I start talking, the phone lines are open. You can call in and make your contribution. But then talking about state capturing, talking about the freedom of movement, the freedom to decide, the freedom to choose, the freedom to want to choose where you align yourselves. I want to read, a press release. So now all don't see the video them, and normally I would have shown this video, right? Normally I've been for sure the video them, but I think we can contend with just the pictures because we have pictures. The reason why I'm not going to show the video of them picking the yaso na cannot gasping for breath, gasping for air. The parents, them, obviously traumatized, obviously having mental, you know, relieving mental trauma, obviously agitated, obviously not sure about if their child was involved in what's going on, if their child happened to be one of the one that fainted, hot flat, all of these type of things. The reason why make I not go show the video is because among these videos, when you look at the images, one of the pikin them will be affected. She was topless. Yeah, she was topless in that in an attempt for bring air to for make it breathe as she was gasping for air, suffocating to breathe, trying to breathe, then take off in top. Then take off in top, then take off in brassiere and everything, and so you can see practically her nakedness. And some of the other video them, some of the other school picking them, I can see within their crotch or crotches, like, and things like that. And for me, then they not to image when me go show out, right? People have access to the images on different platforms, on different forums. So therefore, I will not go down the line in showing these images here. We can show the pictures them and what have you, and we can read what in lead to this. We can read what in lead to this. So basically, there was an invitation letter sent by the First Lady, and I will just use the copy where is sent to Parliament, the female parliamentarians then, as sort of as me example, and I would strongly believe that this same letter, or this was the same tone in all of the letters that were sent to other institutions. I want strongly believe say the letter carried the same tone that were sent to all of the other institutions. So Nadamika, they use this letter here so as an example, without, even as we show the images, we will not show the video of what resulted from this event. So basically, excuse me. Okay, so I will read. So basically, there was a memo sent out, and I believe say this memo also been sent out, not just like them been sent out to Parliament. Like I say, I sure say at the same tone and manner nine the other people them back will participate to receive. So to Parliament, so Parliament of Sierra Leone, and here it says 2 female staff from HR admin department, and it was written on the dated the 13th March 2023, and the memo reads, I am directed by the Clerk of Parliament to inform all female staff that Her Excellency the First Lady has invited female parliamentarian staff to participate in float parade to commemorate International Women's Day. This event, which is scheduled to take place tomorrow, Tuesday, 14th March, 8 a.m. would be used as a platform through which the women of Sierra Leone will formally appreciate His Excellency the President Brigadier Julius Maada Bio for enacting the Gender Equity and Women's Empowerment Act and for generally ensuring several other women's empowerment reforms since assuming office as president of the Republic in 2018. Kindly note that this is where it gets very interesting. Kindly note that this event is mandatory. You see the word mandatory for all parliamentarian female staff, and you are expected to put on the parliamentary t-shirt which was distributed during the open day with black trousers and skirts. So then they tell them exactly how they present themselves. And then those with ID cards should endeavor to put them on. All parliamentary participants are expected to converge at the car wash at the back entrance of the National Stadium facing FSSG School at 7:30 a.m. prompt, as attendance will be taken before proceeding. You know, see what they talk about state capture. The clerk has warned that this event should be treated seriously, and failing to attend will attract disciplinary actions. When I see what they talk about state capture, when I see what they talk about the dissipation of listen. God. The dissipation of whatever we think is a democracy that we have in Sierra Leone. This letter breached every right, every worker's right, because nobody not for mandate anybody for do something against in wish. You mandate them. We mean for say pauper, whether you like it or not, you get for do. You tell them waiting for well, you tell them how for wear am, and then you threaten them for say if you not come, you no go be disciplined. Discipline based on what? What part of their professional duties would they have breached had they chosen not to show up at this rally? Whose part na them professional conduct, na them professional work ethics, na them duty, them being for don't bridge legally if they not show up na something way this na a state. In fact, not to a state, excuse my language, because if I say a state, then I would have said the dumbest thing ever on earth. This is not a personal function. Because remember, the First Lady is not an elected official of the state, and therefore has no mandate whatsoever within state functions. So now the First Lady, just like when he do that time, remember that first publication where Chairman Obapul Nado of the African Express, where they show how the woman is using the money of the state as though she is legitimately allowed to have provisions within that coffers. And then he writes letter, remember, he writes letter mandating people then for pay a certain money for go towards enhance of the girls movement and GMB movement. Let us not be so quick to forget. Now, this same very person, people who are elected officials, now people then vote for them, tell them say they want for make them represent the inside parliament. Now you they mandate them, say make them come back to you man, make them come tell thank you to you man. Tell thank you to you man for what? Shouldn't Tenki come willingly? Shouldn't Tenki come voluntarily? Not of people and self go one for grief for one tell somebody Tenki. Now force them for force people and for one for tell somebody Tenki. Tenki for waiting. And here you have innocent children we left them mama and papa host and say then they go school. Obviously, I am sure the principals of this did because una member no international, no private school not been there at that float day. Now all public funded schools then. It was the FSSG, it was Girls High School, it was Convent, it was the Annie Walsh, it was Vine Memorial, the FSSG, you name them, all the public funded schools them, na them been there na that float day. So I am sure just like the parliament received this on the 13th, the principals of these schools received the same letter tone. Say them for send Pikin them, go put them under hot match sun. No give them water for drink, no make sure they are hydrated or for go tell Tenki to you man. Shouldn't that Tenki come willingly? Shouldn't that Tenki emerge from the people? Why should there be staging? What if you have done the work? If the work has been done for the people, there's no need to stage. There is no need for pamper and pageantry. The people themselves go can omojuba. The people themselves then go can omojuba. Why put people's kids at risk just for your self gratification? Why? You dey behave like for say you self not born pikin them. If people and go put you pikin them, na then kind danger them day. How you go feel as Kumbra? But you know what? In as much as I blame her, I don't totally blame her. I also blame the parents. I also blame the parents because me, if I don't send me pikin go school, now me na the custodian and the authority figure of me pikin so long as it dey under my roof. Who say I send and go to school? I not send and go for go match pass. So if you principal take me pikin come on and do without me permission, we go by there. So it's time that some of these principals also they be checked. Just because the first lady say or the president say doesn't mean that I have to bow to their wills and caprices. No. The state does not own my child. The state not own una pikin them. You are the sole custodians of una pikin them. How dare a principal go release me pikin without me permission? For go do match pass na street and then later you say me pikin end up na Connaught hospital, ventilating, hyperventilating. So many of them collapse. Why the constant need for show? Why don't you do what you need to do and allow the people to recognize you if they so choose to recognize you? Why should you always force for self-recognition? And in the process, endangering people and picking them. But I not blame them. I not blame them. And they come them back at blame because me you pull me picking a do. When me not give you authority for pull you, the first lady, when are you or the principal, we go there. Bring your armies, bring your law enforcement, bring your whatever. In fact, gun me down in the middle of the street. But the world will know that I stood to protect my child. I mean, what sort of nonsense is this? Who's kind of nonsense this for crying out aloud? And it is this that people are saying, oh, we do not like government, we do not like institutions, they talk, they this, they this. How does this make sense? How can you rationalize this, please? How are they able to rationalize this? How are they able to rationalize? Me, I don't go girls worlds, whatever, I don't forget now. I don't attend a World Food Program, Youth Summit na Salone. I don't go girls education and whatever back in the days na Salone. That was during the then late Patricia Kaba in time. The then late Patricia Kaba in time. People that will go convent with me, if they are here watching the show, they can testify to that. They will testify to that and they say, na they represent with school most of the time, panting them. During my time. But at no point, me granny no they get a letter force. At no point, Okrafo Smart, no they send force letter. Force to me granny force for make sure say my grandmother is aware, because then my grandmother was my guardian. My papa de Canada. At no time. Then they make sure say then give me the letter. I take the letter gonna house. Again to me granny. I mean all policewoman, the trick. When he gets the letter, he dey work I come back na convent. He go meet Okrafo in office. He asked Okrafo for what reason, what is the purpose behind this, that. Okrafo Smart, they lay and down to her and tell her, okay, Mama Cole, now this. Is Josephine permitted to go? Then me granny go right back. Yes, she is allowed so and so and so and so to be here at so and so and so. For the purposes of so and so and so. So not so that I am novice to the fact that say government officials sometimes they can't take picking them or ask picking them for be out of school, and most of the time to accredit most of me functioning, whether it be British Council, whether it be the whole city council we burn down, whether be it lodge na their house, yes. Whether be it lodge na the host up hill station. By then, after to Kaba was the then, I believe, gender of children, Safia and whatever ministry. It no matter. In fact, I think cancer can pick me na host. Na me and the drive na the same motor go. Always after school hours. Always after school hours. The only time we are common at school during school hours now been for national debate. The only other time we are common at school during school hours, and I had to make up my waiting and call for that 10 days. That for me award ceremony, Duke of Edinburgh award ceremonies. Me bronze, silver, and gold medal them from the Duke of Edinburgh. So I am not saying that it cannot happen, but what I am saying is that it has to be done under certain restrictions. You know, just they use people picking them willy-nilly at large, at random, just for make political pageantry and props. It is not done. It is not done. Make we learn for respect with institutions then. Make we learn for respect the independence of the institutions then. You cannot politicize, and keep politicizing. Say now you bring and can the schools them go no safe. You don't capture all of the state institutions then now. And the very thing that you call your flagship project, which is education, you're now trying to infiltrate into that as well and capture. Una not a shame. Una not a shame. Where is the limit? Do you ever set a limit? Do you ever set a limit? Una go na bed na net, una dey sleep, how una dey feel? That so many are crying, so many are deprived, so many are oppressed. But yet you keep putting your knees against their neck, even when they are saying we cannot breathe. And so in terms of stage capture and the vocalization of the opposition, this is not something where I expect the opposition for come out and condemn flat out right. This is not something where I expect, despite the NGC leader, whatever in rumors going around saying that they are in bed with the SLPP, blah, blah, blah. This is not done. This is not something where I expect the NGC for come out and say clearly, this is not done. This is not something where I expect the APC for come out clearly and say this is not done. The only person I will give props to and who has consistently demonstrated that when it's not done, it's not done. Femi Claudius-Cole, she came out with a tweet. She's like, please use him. Please stop using our children as props. Stop using our children as props. And again, the reason why I not go show Madam Femi Claudius-Cole in tweet is because, again, the photo that was used showed the bikini nakedness. But this has to stop. This has to stop. What do you mean telling the president thank you? You're telling the thank you for doing your job? For doing your job? Were you not elected based on something? Did you not promise something? Was it an election based on a tabla rasa? Like a clean table? It wasn't a win given to you on a tabla rasa. So why do you think that when somehow you're managing or there's a semblance that you do something will look like say people are now for comfortable, left everything and they do, left their angry belly, left it way important for them, for can begin clap for you, man. Like come on now. And then in the process, put people picking their life at risk. But like I say, I blame them and made them back. Because if you don't go, you don't give strict warning to them principal and them principal and these children are in your custody. When them mama then send them at school, from the time they reach na that school gate day, take the time back when they reach na house, they are in your custody. They are in your custody. That time between where they left school to where they then are host, now a joint responsibility between the school and the parents. That time where they then at that school, now the responsibility of the school. Somebody send their kids to you to be educated on an 8-hour basis, and then you go select them to go tout the street. And then in the process, put their lives at risk. And then when person talk, you say, but that's brother, not like the government, do things right. If you do it right, I will sit here and I will talk about the good that has been done. But I want to make a praising, make a sit down here and talk about something where, who knows if it's my niece, one of them was my niece and my nephew, far removed, that I don't know, that happened to have been in such. Who knows? Because the bloodline are very liquid. They are very fluid, they travel. Madam Femi Claudius Cole came out and said, why use school children as props for your campaign? First go, where is it rumored that 2 children died? And not so in one grade don't talk this. Mrs. Sef don't hear that. Then they try for them pay off the picking in allegedly pay off the picking in people them and put them under duress, under non-disclosure for making them set them out. Say them picking me die in a bow. 2 of them picking them die in a bow. And one confined to a wheelchair. All for one packet pad. That one packet pad day. How many years is it going to last you? Does the end justify the means? Does the end justify the means? So then two comrade and they don't lost them picking so now know how we had to forget Bele. Forget Bele is not easy. Easy for some people, but for some people, it's not easy forget Bele. The way you don't get the Bele now, you get for management, the Bele say the picking Canada, where the picking on Canada, you get for begin the that picking, they say it on matal man, say it on something. And then the selfishness of one person, well, make we left them kind of castle. Make we left them kind of castle. Make we left for the encourage them kind thing so. These are not things we should encourage in society. There is no place in society for such things. None whatsoever. But you get now we school, we institutions then back, they talk about these things. You are talking about state capturing, you are talking about the erosion of education, we are talking about the erosion to be educated, we are talking about the erosion for spaces, open spaces for academics, for learning. And then today you hear institutions such as Njala University College, giving honoris causa to the president for governance. And then you begin to say to yourself, is even me sitting here, is it worth it? It means something. Even mean anything. Because you're talking about the erosion of all these institutions, your erosion of all these spaces. Not that it was perfect before, don't get me wrong. Go. It was not by any stretch of the imagination was it perfect. And I'm not going to make anybody, they can't sit down now, they can't tell me what MCC score, because MCC score is not determined by the evaluators of the MCC. MCC score is determined by a number or reports given to them by people who work within the institutions. So make we put MCC score aside first. They are big. More they talk about the reality of happenings. But yet, even in this same vein, you see people them like the British government still pushing and hoping that within that same breath, even as they are criticized for whatever, within that same breath, they are there saying, you know what, we believe, the only thing we believe that can push a country forward is when they have a critical educated mass. Because that critical educated mass, they go create space for an economic development where they lead to the availability of resources. When there is an availability of resources, that translates to what? Tranquility. That tranquility translates to development and growth. That development growth translates to stability. So it's not about coming here and telling us about numbers. In practical terms, what are these numbers translating to? Tangibility. Wait till I can able to touch with my finger and say, these numbers that you are telling me in practical terms, these are what they translate to. Now I don't talk so in the space of governance. in the space of democracies, the existence of because remember, democracy is not static. Democracy is evergreen. Democracy is evolving. Democracy is not a static process. It's an evolving process. It's an ever-evolving process. But for the word, right? The word, the idea, because democracy is an idea. Yeah, just like capitalism, socialism, all this ism, the ones that Foucault and Max Carl and all of these people talk about. Yeah. They are experienced in practicality. Now the practicality of them, now they bring about the space, the socialist space in which democracy can thrive. So even in this confusion, you see somebody like Lisa, I think her name is Lisa Cheney, going forth and creating how you call them, educational space, pouring money into the education space again. And we are saying, are these monies, are these subventions being wisely used? Are they going to yield dividends that we hope for? Because now the lack of education, now the lack of sensitivity, now the lack of, now they call something like this, where they put a container on the back of forewarner and they drive on a street in the middle of the road and think it is okay and think that you are not endangering lives. We see the video. As a matter of fact, let's show the video here. Yeah. So let's say, Father forbid, that thing they tip over. That thing they tip over. That container they tip over. What una go and sit down and so they say, hey, make we pray God, oh, hey, make we this, make we put money together. This is lawlessness, lack of education. lack of education and they cause this. The very person where she don't self, where the video, instead they endanger himself your life. Because when accidents happen, you know, they know, look that Okada, see how close that Okada they drive, see how close their motorcar they drive past this container. If anything was to happen, like where allegedly somewhere around Hill Station, a container crushed. We don't know if I one or two people there, whether not this morning or yesterday. I refuse to look at the video. I refuse to look at it because waiting for make a subject myself, me mental stability to such grotesque. Waiting for make a subject me mental stability to such uneducated act. Waiting for make a subject myself to that. And people are talking, people are speaking, people are speaking. How you go allow a container for this for drive the road in the city? See, just see the dangers. Like there's so many dangers that this poses. You get electric pole them, you get electric wire in them. And by the way, the phone lines are open. I keep repeating this. The phone lines are open. You can call and give your 2 cents at any point. Talk about any subject we don't talk about, whether be it today, whether be it in the past. Because even as we talk about these subjects today, tonight, we also sometimes get for, like when they say, go back in history, draw your yes, scam forward. You know? And it is also lack of education, because not only also back lack of education, I ain't go make a country and in people and go there. The only means or the most used, make I say the most used means of transportation from one interland to another interland. You get 3 ferry them. Just imagine you get 3 ferry them. You go sign I don't know if that was a public-private partnership. What I should have done is actually look, I'll ask my technical advisor if they can look for that press release from the Minister of Transportation. I believe it was released in October of 2021. If I am not deceiving myself, it was released in October of 2021. Who signed that press release? The way the Minister of Transportation tell we say transportation issue inside Salone don't it then don't resolve them, especially the crossing from Lunge and from Tagrin, whatever the different axes them for cross go inside Lunge, then don't resolve that because then don't sign again. Our government, past and present, I think say the number 25. I don't know waiting at the deal with that 25 day, because then they're not they sign nothing less than 25, all thing at 25 years. All thing at 25 years. So the generation in the next 25 years coming up, just know that you are locked in different agreements. You are locked into different agreements for 25 years, because then self back then go in 2021, they sign an agreement with a Turkish again. Now, we need for the look inside this agreement with it. When a government continuously they sign agreement with one particular company or one particular country, we need for nosedive a little bit deeper for see, other than the black and white that is available for all to see. Nosedive and see what is in there that is not being spoken of. What is in there that is not being spoken of? Because again, another 25-year contract was signed with this Turkish company. I don't forget the company in name. That make us say if we able find that press release there by the Ministry of Transportation, then I believe it was October 2021, where then come and talk, say, then don't sign a 25-year contract with this Turkish company for manned reports, and we keys them. And that's including the ferry as well. That then they bring new ferry, then come inside, Then they bring out and call them. Then go manage the to and fro from Lunge and back. But up till now, nothing. New ferry we not see. As a matter of fact, the two new Matilda, they were not new ferries. They were used ferries because now also we sit down, we confirm, we show the pictures them, and the picture clearly shows say those were second-hand ferries. So the two second-hand ferries then we been can tell them na that place. From where they disappear, till now we not see them again. The three sub ferries then, where we been the manage patch. Three of them, one broke down, we not hear you but again. The second one broke down, we not hear you but again. Freetown Young in drift from outside in the care people, suppose to care people in Alunge, to go find himself na Kisidokia. Make we watch that video. I think it's a very interesting video to see. But who is accountable? The Ministry of Transportation or Minister of Transportation not come out from all where this broke down, see abandonment they happen in the middle of the sea, putting the lives of people at risk. None of them not ever can and can't talk to the people and tell the people waiting they happen. The people that you have contracted, you have basically sold our resources to for 25 years, they are not saying anything. But why would they say anything when the people within are not doing anything? When the people that were supposed to hold them to account and say, listen, this was the contract we had with you, you have not adhered to your side of the contract. Then say I get call, make I take that call. The caller waiting on your name and who say the call from. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Caller, if you dey talk now for speak up because I know they hear you. Okay, so we lost the caller. Okay, so the caller can try and call back again. So basically, what they say, when the people them where we're supposed to keep them in check, the people them we're supposed to do the checks and balances for say this is the contract, this is not the contract where we sign with you. Under this contract, you're supposed to provide so and so. By now, you're supposed to do so and so. If they are not speaking, why should they be bothered? So long as then they collect the revenue, why should they be bothered? Why should they be bothered? Because nobody know they call them to task. Nobody don't know they hold them to account. So why should they be bothered? So basically, at the end of the day, who suffers? The people. At the end of the day, who suffers? The people. Make me watch this video.
This fair, you know, we go no side, every foot on, and just a drifter they go, just a drifter and they go. Full of people they up and down, then they go looking. When they move, go no side. Just a ton, middle water. Problem. All my days time for rescue. All my days time for rescue. All my days time for rescue. Just they kill them go. Just they kill them go. By the time Musa on a day on a car rescue every freedom. Don't lose control and just the drifter they can go. People in flop. If they help towards Lungi. Now you don't pass. Ataki end with this one. Look attacking. Look attacking. And from all our points in the commercial, you see and a
So, at the end of the day, who do we the hold accountable? Who do we the hold accountable? If the government is not accountable to the people, and even when the people demand for accountability, when the people demand for forthrightness, instead they are muzzled, how would they demand foreigners, accountability to foreigners? Because the government now is supposed to be that middleman way for fetch for young people then. But if the government not effect for people then instead all it cares about now then safe and then pockets, then you get things them like this. How many years will not they talk about the ferry? How much would it cost Sierra Leone for bring 10 good ferries then now the country? How much will it truly cost Sierra Leone as a nation to invest in bringing 10 good, even if we start and small, 2, and then we add another 2, and then we add another 2, and then we not to Salone are the only place where pass you use ferry for cross go na the other place. Boku place then they even at Canada and I asked the last day I talked about different places then where to get there you can use the ferry. The US different place then. Now France to England, they use the ferry for cross. So this is not a new concept, not to like for saying as something way new, as something way foreign, as something way can't be done. Then get ferry then they were 4 times big past this. Then get ferry then where they take thousands of cars. But all thing no more winner, we no more all 10. Why can't we ask for more? Why is it that demanding for more is an issue? Why is it that wanting more should be a problem to the people we have elected to serve? Why is it that questioning and asking for better should be an issue to the people we have asked to serve us? Why? Why? And as we did go inside the wanting for more, we did talk about education. We did talk about the need for state institutions to function, state institutions to be independent, state institutions to be accountable to the citizenry, state institution that people can believe in, state institution that is free of nepotism, state institution that is free of bias, state institutions that are independent. I've only experienced this professor a few times, and when I say experience, I'm at the virtual space, and I'm talking about professor by the name of Jimmy Kande. First time where I experienced him was few Sundays ago during the AYV program where he came as a guest panelist, and that was during the NGC debacle. Where it is saying come there in the capacity and go talk about governance and can speak about it in the capacity of governance and state institutions and the functioning of state institutions. And he made very salient arguments and very salient points. Almost as though I felt the two of us were sitting in the same room when I did my show. The only difference is that where people are not go come and point finger to me is that I did my show before. Say me they do my show Friday, AYV na Sunday. And then again this Sunday, I happened to have watched him again. He was also one of the guest panelists on this past Sunday show, where then they talk about governance. And again, you go feel to say something something I've been sitting down in classroom. You go feel to say something me na one of his students then, but I've never met this man in my life, never sat in any of his classroom, never sat in any of his lectures. I would really love to experience his lectures or discussion or round table, because I just feel like, we would have a lot to discuss and talk about. And so I enjoyed how he brilliantly, approached the issue, and how he brilliantly positioned them, not only in terms of Sierra Leone as a nation, or the sovereign state of Sierra Leone, but how he juxtapositioned them with comparing even the West and all the sub-African nations. I really, really love intake and how it broken down. And how we break down the understanding of what democracy is, and what brings about the look and feel of democracy. Something where I don't talk about so for years. And then to our surprise, this happens. But to our surprise, this happens. Make we read the press release we come out now the University of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, Sierra Leone. Anyways, let's go. The University of Sierra Leone, Directorate of Public Relations, Alumni and International Affairs, news release for immediate release, and it reads, Freetown, Sierra Leone, 16th March 2023. The attention of the administration of the University of Sierra Leone has been drawn to comments on social media by Professor Jimmy Kane has been sacked, but that he is yet to be given a termination letter. Professor Kane was engaged in January 2022 and given a contract for 1 year, which ended in December 2022. On 12 December 2022, the university registry wrote to all FBC contract staff, including Professor Kane, informing them that the expiration of their contract on 31st December 2022. The University of Sierra Leone administration would therefore like to would therefore like the interested public to note that the narrative on social media about the reason for Professor Jimmy Kane's alleged sacking is untrue and skewed to present the unfortunate picture that he was victimized because of his political views. The University of Sierra Leone is an academic institution which promotes academic freedom pursuant to Chapter 25, 1 of the Constitution of the Sierra Leone Act 6 of 1991. James Tambalebi. Following this press release, there was a rebuttal from the professor. And here we'll read the rebuttal from the professor. We'll read the rebuttal from the professor. Do we have the rebuttal from the professor? Okay, the rebuttal from the professor. Okay, so Professor Jimmy Carney, I thought I sent it. Don't know why. Oh boy. Okay, so just give us a quick, yeah, so, okay, so that's a different one. Let me, sorry guys, just give us 1 second. Let's get the rebuttal from the professor because sometimes it's good to just read from the horse's mouth, right? Just read from the horse's mouth. I thought we had we had secured. Okay, I've sent the rebuttal from the professor, but I won't waste time. I will just start reading as we upload the rebuttal from the professor. So, the professor, a few hours following the release of that press statement, Professor Jimmy Carney took to his social media page, to be precise, his Facebook page, where he normally would post a lot of interesting stuff. And he wrote, I just want to respond to a press release by the University of Sierra Leone Public Relation hack about my dismissal from FBC. I have still not received my dismissal letter, nor was I contacted in December about contract renewal. In fact, I worked and was paid in January and February of this year, which contradicts press release that my contract ended last December. I was told verbally by policy head of department, by the policy head of department, that I have been dismissed just as I was about to teach my master's class yesterday. So, which must have been, so a day ago would have been Thursday, which must have been Wednesday. So yesterday, I spoke to Professor Kale Mansare, FPC principal and dean of, I guess, chancellor or dean vice chancellor. I don't know their titles very well. Excuse me if I mispronounce it. Who told me that it was my head of department who refused to sign offers on my renewal letter. Political science is largely, with a few exceptions, a cash for grade rogue operations, as I am not surprised that my presence slash quality of teaching posed a threat to some of the department. I am. I also contacted Professor Fode Sir, University Vice Chancellor, and the man who hired me, and he promised to give me a call after returning from Nigeria this weekend. I have had it with FBC. It is my second firing. First was as a doctoral student from Wisconsin in 1985, and I will never teach here again. I have an outstanding judgment against the university for wrongful dismissal in 1985-86. I feel bad for the students who deserve better. I put in a lot of time developing new courses that will never be taught here. I came here to I came here to legacy teach, but I am not wanted here. I value what remains of my life and will not put it on the line to teach and live here. I will have more to say about this after I receive official termination letter, but the press release by the University of Sierra Leone is false and extremely deceptive. I'm at peace and I will spare myself the indignities and disrespect of working here. I was not even offered an office, but that was the least of my problem. I look back proudly at my unblemished 30 years record of teaching at the University of Richmond. I was able to grow there as a teacher and a scholar, and I was doing the best teaching of my career when I got here. Twice beaten is more than I can handle. Another blessing in disguise is how I see this. God works in mysterious ways, and all shall be well. So that was the rebuttal of the professor. Do I believe that it was the position taken by the professor that led to this sudden announcement and sudden alleged dismissal? Absolutely. Do I think that this alleged dismissal or whatever is the sole operation of the current institution? I doubt it. And here are my reasons. The reason why I doubt them, if you go back and go watch that video. In truth speaking, the professor did not take side. He clearly pointed out the misgivings of the past government. He clearly pointed out the misgivings of past government, the misgivings of this current government, and how all of these misgivings together has accumulated in the current state that is now Sierra Leone. But I believe there is one thing that is always purported in the media circle and among Sierra Leoneans of certain belief, that I think that particular statement must have, that particular statement, they ruffle some feathers then. And that particular statement, they invoke some emotions and some ego trepidation in some people then. The statement where he make about the current president not being the father of democracy in Sierra Leone, and that the people who truly brought about democracy in Sierra Leone, post-war Sierra Leone, as a matter of fact, was the conference held at Bintumani 1 and that of Bintumani 2. And I always, if una don dey watch me for years now, I don't tell una say as a young girl, I wasn't even 17 then, the role that I played at Bintumani 1, the role where I played at Bintumani 2. They talk about, how the formation of democracy started. It talk about the riots of FBC. It talk about the no college, no school riot. It talk about how that trickled down to the Shaka Stephen regime, the Momo regime. It talk about how, the Sobelism came about. He talked about how the legislating of wanting a functioning state came about through the Bintumani 1 and Bintumani 2. He did not go into the finite details because there are a lot more details in Bintumani 1 and Bintumani 2 that people always omit to talk about or pretend to talk about. And somehow people have normalized the saying that, Mada Bio is the father of democracy, blah, 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 blah. And, people don't really, like when they say people are not in question and, put some. But the way the professor put it, and he's an academic, and as an academic, he gets the right for correct things them when not right. Because he writes, he publishes, that's his space. And governance and the teaching of governance, state governance, institutional governance, whatever, that has been his space. So somebody there like that, they not go come put on a television and then expect them for say something way go against fact. Obviously, he's going to come back and correct. It talk about the role of the women them in institutional and legislative governance and bringing back some semblance of democracy or some semblance of state functioning within Sierra Leone. So me feel, I strongly believe, say, for someone that has more than 30 years of within the academic space, somebody will come on or not even give office safe. Somebody we don't teach in the academic space for over 30 years, will not even give office. The person they carry the right curriculum for now. They develop. Do you know how much work it takes to develop a course? Una ask them when they were educators then. How much work it takes to develop a curriculum, to develop a course. Not a picking work. Let alone that person, you don't rebrand the departments. You don't make studying a particular subject has become, something to look forward for. Because it don't make them exciting, it don't make them modern, it don't make them, it don't make people don't cultivate the habit of wanting to know, wanting to learn, and actually working for their grades, not buying their grades. Somebody like Dandy, if all the claims say education na flagship project, somebody like Dandy, they all and tight. Somebody like Dandy, no amount of tongue lashing that he can give to you go make you become trepidatious. Go make you go send you into anger. You value those assets because we do not have enough of them. Now inside the same kuba inside the was it the last government? I don't remember again. Professor Ibrahim. Same thing. Very good, astute educator, very good lecturer on a Kubaku, Dr. Ibrahim. Kuba. I did not follow that case from remember again how we finish. And to honor the news media them, now you see why people are demotivated. They don't want to come and be part of your shows. They rather be in their corner doing what they are doing, carrying on their business in their corner. Because it's almost as if they shows they are so they use them as a bait platform for implicate people them. Because you say it's a free press. You say the press is free, it's an open space. But when you are challenged to the truth, you cannot stomach it and you use backdoor processes for suppress people them. So could you imagine somebody like me where they talk, if me being depend on state state employment na Salone? Or if I been depend on anything with state affiliated, where sometimes the manager of the operations or the manager of the TV or the director or the CEO get affiliation with the government. How free am I to do my work? How free would I be to do my work? How free would I be to stand in the position of truth? Nothing where that man say cannot be proven as fact academically and not only theoretically but practically. Because remember when these academics write, they write out of past knowledge. They write out of experiences seen and observed. So none of the authors them, and most of them authors them, I don't read them. None of the authors then where he write, where he mention, none of waiting he say go against waiting really they happen at Salone. None of him views them where he say go against the truth of the reality. So if una not want for you read the truth, if it's always, if you want a monologue, then let it be so. Make it clear. But then no say you want a dialogue, but where in reality na a monologue you want. Now you see why una been they complain say woman they wanna invite certain women there for can't talk, they know they can, they know they show up, or then they turn down the AYV Sunday. I remember you guys have said that. Here is a clear example why people disengage. Now very few people then they continue for put their lives, their careers, them, and their reputations, them. Still, just for the sake of. How do you justify this? What he said, wasn't it educative? When you go to the literature, waiting is say, how different is it from waiting actually happen? But yet, because in tone, in narration, no favor you now, use backdoor systems on them. How serious are we about what we preach and what we say? How serious are we about all of these dealings? And that make us say the road to 24th June is going to be very difficult. The road to 24th June is going to be extremely difficult. Not just for the incumbents and not just for the oppositions. Sierra Leoneans as a whole, we need for brace ourselves. It's going to be very tumultuous. Because even at this stage, there is no semblance of genuineness. There is no semblance of genuineness. There is no semblance of reaching across the aisle when there may be an illusion or it appears as though somebody is aligned or is not in your corner but is in alignment with somebody else. And so with that perception and with that thought, we see someone in the judiciary whose appearance or being within the judiciary system gives the semblance as though he's an hired aid. An hired aid in the sense that he was specifically chosen to carry out a particular purpose. So we don't see in the case of Samora Kamara, we don't see in the case of, Kamarimba, we don't see the case of so many others. And it continues. And today we see a heavy-handed sentencing, or something that I would say a heavy-handed sentencing for someone who, quote unquote, whether you accept it, whether you deny it or not, is seen to be in alignment, in bed with the other side. And maybe what that represents for you is a threat And so because that represents a threat for you, give me a second, people, I need for charge. And so because that represents a threat for you, however the case may present, remember, I am not the judge here. The crimes or the alleged crimes were not put in front of me, but we all know that earlier on this week, we get a feel of what was about to happen, which was the High Court Judge Honorable Justice Adrian Fisher has just sentenced, Alhaji Mohammed Ba, popularly known as LJ, to 9 years imprisonment and ordered him to pay compensation to the victims. It came after LJ was found guilty on Monday, 13th March, on all 4 counts brought against him. You see, in this case, Mina Bindede, we only had statements from eyewitnesses and statements from the alleged victims. We also know that there is a CCTV camera that was asked to be brought in as evidential proof. That CCTV camera never made its way to the court hearing. They don't ever look at them. They don't ever, whether it was functional, non-functional, we don't know. This guy has been in prison for, they say, they say he rob a gas station and he take fleet, he make away. Several eyewitnesses then come forward for say, even though he was there, he wasn't the one that was in argument with the people. He only got in argument with someone at the gas station because the person been dey try for video am, and he tell the person say no video me, which he has 100% right to. Whatever else happened, the story is in between truth, in between fabrication. But for the alleged crime wey dem say he commit, is 9 years imprisonment justified? I know say some people and they say, oh, if you break the law, you must face the law. The law is not above anyone, blah, 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 blah. But you know, it's these same people that if the tables were turned, you go want somebody like me for Sidon Ayaso and ask the same question. Does the punishment is the punishment equal to the crime? If the punishment, in your opinion, you feel like it's not equal to the crime, then what do we call it? Remember that on the 13th of March, this said judge, you know, every morning, my prayer, my own personal prayer, not to talk about anybody else, my own personal prayer is that may I never be so full of myself, so that I become abstinent. May I never get to the point where I feel like I am invincible, indomitable. May I always be reminded of my vulnerability as a human being. May I always do right by others. May I always strive not for do tit for tat. May I always present myself in such a manner that humility precedes me in everything I do. May I never think of myself as a demigod. Sometimes, when we begin to forget that we are humans and we think we are infallible, and we fail to say, don't no go ever clean pan we, and we feel say, net no go ever come, and we feel say, we on do mot where rain can they dry, and we feel say, calbas no go ever broke na we an. We begin to act in a certain manner. We begin to act in a certain way. We forget what history has taught us, because history is a very, very good teacher. I pray make dry leaf no ever for them na unu do mot them. I pray make dry leaf. Not insulting anyone. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. All I'm saying is, I pray make dry leaf no ever for them na unu do mot them. Because if dry leaf for them na unu do mot them, and unu ben unu butu for pikam, then unu go no say, not to all dry leaf wait for them in one piece, you dey pick am in one piece. What did I say? I pray make dry leaf no ever for them na unu do mot them. Because if dry leaf for them na unu do mot them, and unu butu for pick am, then unu go no say, not to all dry leaf where you butu for pick, you dey pick in one all one. Now, as we close the show, politics is a very interesting thing. And within the politics, there are politicians that you must be absolutely be careful of. Absolutely be careful of them politicians. And in my growing in this time of politics, one panel politician and the name na like the semblance of the Alpha Khan. Before he became bedfellows with the current administration, he had some things to say about the current about the APC and the current administration. And now that he is bedfellows with the current administration, he dey try for, I don't know if the game now for try for outing company them, or if really there is a apprentice cabal all over, because that's what you call them, let the apprentice come declare for the SLPP. Make we listen to the audio. I think it go good for make we listen to the audio. Make we listen to the audio and let's see. This is why I keep saying the road to June 24th is going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Timbo, good afternoon. Fode, good afternoon. Justice Freddie. This message now for now. The term don't camp and come. The gloves are off. The battle lines have been drawn. This time, we're not for Gary, for ladies battle, Yaso, anybody, make we even stagger panel. If we're able to win this election, hands down. But if we come together, and the only way we can make that is to bring Sierra Leone together. The APC and the SLPP, there is no fundamental difference. Now the one the way they lead the APC at the moment, and they don't bring that fundamental difference. We don't agree. So we now the people the way now progressives within the APC, would they join we brother them? Would they join the SLPP them for this, for Sierra Leone, for sake of Mama Sierra Leone? This time, let we make sure say we are able to make the south, east, and the northwest them be one. Can you imagine? The Mende people, not 32% of Sierra Leone. The team need them. Not 31% of Sierra Leone. 63% of the population. If 31% of the population no agree for join, for work together, the other 31 no agree for join together, the country will be split asunder. We don't want that. We want let there be cohesion and union by Sierra Leone. And the only way we can do that is for the two main ethnic groups to come together and have a focus for the development of Sierra Leone through the education, the human development, the agriculture, the infrastructure, the energy, and of course, the international acclaim we don't get now. So what they ask now is that the president get for come to Port Loko this March. As soon as I get the clearance for let know the exact date where they come, we go arrange for you, German, Mr. Timbo, Furikan, and Freddie. Leon able come. This message now for una all. If we get for come, Mr. Seth go try. For the one day we no go able to make up the ticket, me I go subsidize. We go make a proportion. If I pay half, we not pay half. But I want Leona come. Leona day and that declaration. At that time, we draw the battle lines. Battle lines actually they are not battle lines, but na lines of determination. For we bring victory to Sierra Leone. It's just a victory to Madabio or to SLPP. It's a victory to Sierra Leone. Because Sierra Leone will have to come together. The moment we all come together, everybody else will fall in line. There is 63% of the population there together. The rest will follow. Now we try to bring differences. And those differences, if we encourage them, the other people will believe that the country is split. This country is not split. We are one people, one country. We go try, let we all work together. Make we bring with people together. So I want make una remember this. Put it in your diary. As soon as I get to the go, would I get for take leave, take leave. Make we know if not 2-3 weeks when I come to Sierra Leone, for we can set the strategy for work together with the government and with President Madabio. And a good man. I don't see him. He's fit for we as a soldier. He's fit for bring the priests, for the Sanko. He fought also for bring free education for the children. He fought for remove the death penalty. He fought for remove the law about freedom of speech. He fought for bringing women into governance. He fought for bringing the proportional representation. Everything we good, you don't try for do and for we. Even during the COVID, we not suffer much because he took the right decisions. And those decisions, when you compare with what happened with Ebola, you can have 3,800 people die. I mean, get for grab and lead the Ebola without any official appointment. I build hospitals, I do everything, I write a strategy. Because I mean, the country was in the hands of difficulty. The president is a bit confused, you don't know nothing for them. So I wrote that strategy. And that strategy did not help. And that same strategy now we use for fight the corona when it came, and it has worked. I even see say when that disease kind of Brazil, I don't know when I call them that mosquito disease will come. They use that strategy. You bring in all of government into fight because it wasn't a disease, an invasion by a foreign force. So soldier, police, politician, stakeholders like the paramount chiefs and the youth and the headman them and the women, everybody had to come together for law time because no one mind. When we all come together, we see how we succeed with the corona. So if we come together, we go succeed by the national development also. Here also, this one, Qatar, they accolade them plenty for Sierra Leone. President Bio, every time there is a meeting, they ask for co-chair or chair. Now, because of the recognition of what they do for we in Sierra Leone, if you get one good person, now for Holland, because it takes another 100 years to get a good person, and I mean it. Do ya? Let we try. So now we come, yeah? Make we can keep comping, we can strategize, let we do. We will have to make a declaration of the apprentice network for all come together. So now I message this. Thank you. I did Qatar for the return free time tomorrow, inshallah. Thank you very much. It's for all of you. For the Freddie, Timbo, and German. I'll also send a message to the Americans. So thank you very much. Bye.
So now we know for say there is a network of people when at the apprentice network where obviously when I know that I've been the apprentice alias aka the apprentice when I've been Alpha Khan. We know for say he been the seriously hope say ex former president Kuruma go nominate him as the next of king, the person for take after him. But then the way that did not happen, and we see how the commission of inquiry come where notice for say this one me assets then small one I don't put in a corner I go if I'm melgo I go lost some. You see how we switch gear quick one. So we definitely know some names them, I call some names them. We know that also what is fact according to him. And the reason we decide for play this audio here so is because of the fact that you see, when we got the audio of Fatimata Sawane, we could not 100% ascertain that was her speaking. And for me, credibility somehow it's important. It's very important, right? This particular audio, Alpha Khan invoice so peculiar that when you hear him, they go, oh, this was a dub tape, this was a no. It gets certain way it articulate, where it punctuate. When you know for say straight away, you know that they talk. So that was the reason why we decided to play this one. So basically, Alpha Khan is walking on the ground, walking definitely some APCians on the ground for making them defecto to the SLPP. Like he say, money sweet, or if I forget money, yeah. So the names then where he call right now, so nada waiting and call. There were about 5 of them. There were about 5 of them. He said make them take 3 weeks vacation. He said if na vacation, self make them take. As in, when they take this vacation, are you going to subsidize their income? Secondly, waiting, he said if you not get the money for pay the ticket, he said pay half, then I meet you halfway, I pay the other half. And then you begin to ask yourself this question. Knowing the price of tickets currently, knowing what tickets cost currently, no matter if na England, then why are they come on, which is my assumption. I am assuming that this branch of people are in England because he did go on to say, I will send the same recording go America. We mean to say there is also a branch in America. So let us assume, say, like we don't name them 5 years so right now. I'm saying England, I'm not sure. Then he go back now, he go pull other 5 now. America or pull other 5 now Australia, and all of these people if we go according to what they say na the video, he say make them take 3 week vacation. He say make them take 3 week vacation, make them can hang out. As if you're the one paying for them, you're the one paying their mortgages and everything. So now let's assume that okay, then people here also get the flexibility for take them 3 week vacation here so and pay halfway for them tickets. And this man here so they say in go carry the other half of them ticket. So let's just assume, for example, the last time I saw someone hurriedly going to Freetown, hurriedly going to Freetown, like that in a jiffy, he pay about $3,000, close to $4,000 for ticket. Yeah, close to $4,000 for ticket. Now let's just assume, let's just round it up and say $4,000 for ticket. 5 people then. So $4,000, make we times them by 5 divided by 2. The half then they take care of, the other half they take care of. So now let's multiply the number by 10. Make we times switching that half there we get we times them by another 2. How many thousands are we looking at? Here, somebody say my family of 3 paid $9,000 for tickets to travel to Sierra Leone from Australia. Wonder what the ticket price will look like when SUMA groups are in operation fully. Me just dey talk about somebody when he sabi we go to 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, $4,000 for the ticket. Yeah. So let us just assume, because the person will get for go, just like where they talk, so una can by a certain date to no come. Let's just assume 4,000, and now I just get a rough estimate, right? Because I know it's more than that. $4,000 for tickets. Let's say these people buy into his idea. Then 5 people then so, and then make I just use now imagination, creative reasoning, right? And say there's another 5 in the US, there's another 5 in Australia, there's another 5 somewhere else. But we just put the number to 15 cabals, okay? In don't talk saying go cover the halfway. If then count with half, go cover the halfway. So let's say tickets are now $4,000. 4,000 split by 2 is $2,000. 2,000 now multiplied by 15. Make we just say 5 year, 5 year, 5 and multiply by 15. Who said this money? Who said this man pull that kind of money there? See, when we talk about state institutions, we are talking about endemic and embedded corruption, looting and plundering of resources, state resources. So I pull that money there. Now, all these names that he has mentioned, we don't mention now. Inside the party, people then go, they look them with side eye. Now, whether they in bed with him or they were not in bed with him, he don't out them. He don't out them. So you see how I say how complicated things are going to become and things are going to be for the upcoming election. Things are going to get seriously complicated. This now the same man where they talking at this audio, so unu go back and unu listen to the audio them where Anes been then a power, the way where this man been the praising Anes. The way where this man been the praising Anes, even right up to leading up to the election, the 2018 election, some of the things this man was saying about Anes Baikoma and the APC party. And what he was saying against the SLPP party. People then like them why are unafraid them. People then like them why are so na for afraid them, na for afraid them, na for like they would do anything. They would do anything to be with him. They would do anything for it. Now then why are so then they morph into Gongobi. Now Gongobi that thing, chameleon. They are chameleons. They morph into the environment. Then they morph into the environment. They disguise. Then they change their color to suit the environment the way they. And people like this are very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. The SLPP very not all because you don't follow or seem elderly or tread carefully with this man. The SLPP tread carefully. The APC also tread carefully. Tread carefully. Then people then yeah, then dangerous. When I say then people like this are they are little. They are little. Then kind politicians they are very, very, very little. But I should say this not done it. This now we have not had the who say he pull that kind of money there for able sponsor tickets. Now 5 no more we hear but two. He's saying they send the same message go America. Where else you get for send the same message go? I mean, who will come for just make them say, hey, you know what thing? America stressful right now or London stressful right now. I get free vacation. Make I go enjoy, make I go eat and can't sit down back now my corner here. There are those who will take the bait. But right now, what thing you don't do is that you don't expose certain people then within. That's what he has done. So inside the APC camp right now, among certain people, there's going to be suspicions. Suspicions, no, not of Gongobi. They say Gongobi, Migani can say Gongobi, they bring good luck, so Gongobi na good thing. This one not of Gongobi, this na chameleon. Chameleon. But then speaking of election countdown, and speaking of election processes, as we close the show for today, because we don't take time, normally the show for be 2 hours, but because we start late small, and I make argue on a small bunya. Argue on a small bunya, but not for the expect the bunya always. But the registration people the voters people and them pull something ado. The Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone. The Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone pull a public notice nado. And I go read that public notice there because then change the date of the time where people and go pick their IDs then and change the date. So basically this na the public notice where them pull na do. Then say the public is hereby informed that distribution of voters registration cards, which was scheduled for the 17th to the 26th March, has been postponed, and the new date for distribution for voters registration card is now from the 7th to the 16th of April 2023. The postponement is due to the delay in air freighting of the voters registration card caused by strict action of air traffic controllers of the chartered cargo flight. The Commission appeals to the public for their understanding in such circumstances and assures the public of its commitment to conducting credible and transparent election. Planning, effecting, sabotaging. Because most of the people, a lot of the people, voters, amakituman, are traders, and then, even more important, the time now where they can push this thing to inside fast month, the middle of fast month. Like right now, the Christians are fasting. But we all fast different from the Muslim fast. We dey fast from 6 to 6. We start our fast 6 a.m. in the morning, we fast till 6 p.m. in the evening. Yeah? The Muslim, then they begin fast, I think from the break of dawn, when they eat, then do the morning prayer, then eat, that's when the fast begin. If I remember clearly, I think they fast before the sun, they start fasting before the sun comes out. And we get time where we they cut, right? Ours is 6 to 6, no matter what, 6 to 6. But with the Muslims, they have to wait until the sun comes down. So when they don't begin that fast before the sun comes out, most of the time it's when the cock, around the time the cock crows, then they fast till that sun can down. If that sun cannot come down, they can't cut fast. So now you go tell me, somebody where they pan that kind fast, they for go sit down at that Salone hot scotch burning sun. And then on top of that, the person need for go sell small thing, because when I know now the exchange money exchange system now we depend. Currencies or exchange of currency, flotation of a currency. Now we depend. Where you sell, what you make, now you go back now, or you go buy, go cook small pen. Then they get for go now na house, and the member for go cook sunakati, for go make sunakati for breakfast. Timing, positioning, sabotaging. But anyways, with all that said, before we dey go, when we been begin, I tell una say we dey inside 98 days, not to so. Now, as we dey close, we dey 97 days, 22 hours, 17 minutes, and 57 seconds to election day. May God bless we all. And like I say, tell me what you think. Should this show be rebranded to the Salone Issues and Solutions Show? Because I think we do offer a lot of solutions here. We don't just talk about the issues. So let us know in our comment section. Until then, may God bless we all. May God look over we all. And make God have mercy upon we in this dunya. Onotata.